What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome back to the Spiritual Intellectual Channel / Spiritual Intellectual Show with your host that does the absolute most, Evan Youngblood Williams here. And this is going to be the second installment in the Shadow Work 101 series called What is Shadow Work? So if you haven't seen my previous video in this series where I talk about my experience with my shadow work journey thus far, you can click somewhere in the video to go watch it, or click the video link in the description below to watch if you want. But to cut to the chase, the shadow self is basically all of the disowned or unconscious parts of our personality. The shadow was created during childhood because of our family upbringing, our religious indoctrination, cultural upbringing, and so on and so forth. And the fun fact about this is that Carl Jung, the early, mid, or late 20th century psychoanalyst named Carl Jung, if I haven't mentioned his name already, basically came up with the term shadow self. Now, this is, of course, coming from a psychological perspective, which is an important part of the healing process, but it's only half of it. The other half is the spiritual aspect of it. And you should note that, because if you are only doing shadow work from a psychological perspective and you don't also do the spiritual side of it, then you're just only healing half of yourself. You're not healing your whole self. That's what I'm trying to say. And another thing to note about the shadow is that it's not bad or as evil as everybody likes to say it is. You know, what gets on my nerves a lot about the spiritual community specifically, and yes, I'm calling y'all out one more time, because I'm real sick of y'all just coming out here just bashing the shadow and calling it evil and all sorts of nasty names, which is only going to make it grow bigger and bigger and bigger, because the more you judge it, it's just going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where it becomes so uncontrollable that it's going to wreak havoc on all areas of your life more than it has done so already. So what you need to do when you go into shadow work, and I'll discuss in the next video on how to actually do it, you need to show yourself lots of love and lots of compassion as you are going within doing your shadow work. Because the thing about shadow work is, it's not a magic pill, nor is it a quick fix for all of your problems. You see, when you go into shadow work, you have to fully commit yourself to doing it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be all in it. You know, this is not something that you're going to just do or get good at overnight. Just wanted to throw that in there, because we live in a society where everybody wants a quick fix for everything, and that's not how this works. Shadow work does take a lot of time, and it does require a lot of dedication, and it's going to require you to get very, very, very uncomfortable. All right, just forewarning you guys, so that when you go do shadow work, there is no surprises. But anyways, I digress. I'm going to get back to the topic at hand. I'm looking at my notes right now. So I already said it requires patience and, with yourself and with the process. Because this is a process, guys, just so you know. And so, therefore, you have to be real gentle with yourself, because you're rediscovering all of the aspects of yourself that are so-called bad and, so-called good qualities and talents that you have buried deep, very deeply inside of you, all because it was disapproved by your family and by the society as a whole that you live in. And so we go around wearing these various social masks, all because, it is a way to protect ourselves from getting scrutinized. And thus, the more you keep suppressing your true, authentic self, the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It was way beyond what my arms can stretch, and I have pretty long arms. But anyways, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where it's just going to become uncontrollable. And a lot of times those aspects of yourself that you disown is going to come out of you unconsciously. And you've met a few people, or you even observed this in yourself, or other people have observed this about you, is that when you do something that's quote unquote out of character, right? Like people will say, "Oh man, that's so out of character for that person to do it. Like normally that person is kind and gentle and wouldn't hurt a fly. All of a sudden they just beat the crap out of so and so." But the thing about that is, it wasn't out of character. It's been a part of their character the whole time. They just hid that away from you and the rest of society. And they've been good at it for so long, up until that point when that person got so triggered that their shadow took over their whole entire being and caused them to do that action of beating the crap out of that person. And so anytime you observe yourself or observe other people that are quote unquote out of that act, quote unquote out of character, that's really their shadow self revealing itself. And that's their true self coming out. All of their pent up feelings, pent up emotions, pent up thoughts, anything that's been stuffed down is coming up to the surface all at once. And see, you can only stuff something down so long, kind of like how when you put clothes in a suitcase and you trying to pack it as much as you can, you're just packing that thing to the brim and you're trying your best to zip it up and close it up, and you sit on it, you're struggling to pull that zipper until that sucker breaks off, and then all of a sudden, the luggage explodes and clothes start flying everywhere. That's kind of what it's like whenever you're stuffing and suppressing your true self down, that your true self is all of a sudden gonna burst out on the scene and come out, and then people are just going to be shocked because they're like, dang man, I can't believe so and so did that. And so, doing shadow work will prevent that from happening. And so your shadow self is a part of your unconscious mind and contains everything that you feel ashamed of thinking, feeling, as well as every impulse, repressed idea, desire, fear, and perversion that for one reason or another you have quote unquote locked away consciously or unconsciously. And by the way, guys, I'm going to link all the articles that I've used to research, that I used to do for my research in this video, in the description down below, because I pulled a lot of these points that I've written in my notes that I keep looking back and forth at for this video, so that you guys get a clear understanding of what exactly shadow work is and what your shadow is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, moving on. And we often wear social masks to tame, quote unquote tame ourselves in front of our peers and in front of society, because we don't accept those aspects of ourselves. We don't feel comfortable being fully authentic with ourselves and with other people, because we are afraid that we're going to get scrutinized, and all of that scrutiny and all of that pain that we've experienced from our family members, from our friends, from our classmates at school, and from society as a whole, of being bullied mercilessly because we've revealed our true selves and wore our hearts on our sleeves. It's caused our ego to step in and say, you know what, I'm tired of seeing you getting hurt. I'm tired of you going through all this pain. So you better, conform to what everybody else is doing, so you get that approval and you get that love, right? And then we do this all the way from childhood all the way up to adulthood, and from the ego's perspective, it can understand, why you're doing that, because it's a survival mechanism that you're using as a child, just so you can get the approval and the love of your caregivers and everybody else around you. Because when you're a child, you're defenseless. You don't know what the heck's going on. You don't know the rules of the world. You're just wandering aimlessly, doing the best that you can to navigate this reality. and then you find out later on what is deemed acceptable by your family and by society, and what is not accepted. And so from about like ages 5, 6, or 7, we tend to wear these masks just so we don't have to go through that pain of being scrutinized anymore. And like I said, we do that up until adulthood. But the thing about adulthood is that we can make the choice right now to go ahead and take those social masks off, so that we don't live such a constricted life where we're being held by these chains that we're keeping on ourselves. And at any time, we can break these chains and choose to embody more of our authenticity. But oftentimes we choose not to, because we're still operating out of that fear. And that's what shadow work helps you to do, is it helps you to dissolve that fear. And yes, it is going to be extremely uncomfortable. It's going to be extremely nerve-wracking, because you've never done something like that before. You haven't faced all of yourself. But the thing about it is the more that you keep doing the work, the shadow work specifically, the more free you're going to feel, the more self-love you cultivate, and the more compassion you cultivate for yourself. And thus, it's going to be the more love and compassion you can give for others. And this is oftentimes the missing link when it comes to manifestation and when it comes to our healing work. Because oftentimes what you hear people in the spiritual community constantly regurgitate is love and light, love and light. It's all about the light. Go towards the light. Embrace your light side. Shine your light upon the world. Da 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 da. And that's all good. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't shine your light or you shouldn't focus on the light and love. But you cannot truly be whole and be your authentic self and be free without doing shadow work at the same dang time. This is something that we must all do. And I'm still learning to do this right now. I'm not saying that I am a shadow work master and I got it all together. I got it popping. I got it going on, because the truth is I do not. I'm figuring this shadow work stuff out just as much as you are. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a beginner at this. I got a lot to learn, and I got a long ways to go. But I'm enjoying the process and the unfolding. And I'm doing my best to have that compassion and that love for myself and that patience with myself as I do my daily shadow work. You see what I'm saying? And you're probably wondering, like, okay, you know, this stuff sounds all good, Evan, but why should I even care? Why should I even bother doing shadow work? Well, if you don't uncover what's hidden inside of you, you will constantly be plagued by guilt, by shame, anger, resentment, depression, disgust, low self-esteem, lust, addiction, and self-sabotage. You're going to have all of those negative patterns run amok in your life, all because you refuse to face yourself and your shadow. And like I said earlier in the video, it's going to wreak havoc in all areas of your life, because you're simply are choosing to not face yourself, which is something you can go for long by doing, by the way. And COVID has shown us that exactly. Like, after COVID came, it's like we were forced to face ourselves and to face our shadow and to make amends with it and make peace with it. Right? And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. I didn't want to hold you guys for long. I just wanted to get straight to the point, because I know you guys are busy and got lots to do. And if this video has added any type of value in your life whatsoever, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell right next to it, so you get notified every single time I upload a pre-recorded video or do a live video on this channel. You know, if you watch my pre-recorded videos, I drop them every single Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. And lives, I just do them whenever, you know, I can, and if I'm feeling it, I'll do it. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you're more than welcome to do so by clicking the link in the description below. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or video topics that you want to suggest to the channel, make sure to go ahead and comment down below, because I do check out comments. Believe it or not, I do check them out. I don't check them every day, but when I do check them, I make sure to read them as much as I can, you know, and I appreciate all you guys for leaving a positive feedback on my videos, and even some of those that, you know, that oppose what I gotta say. You know, I love you guys too. I love all the feedback nonetheless, you know, because this helps our channel grow more and more and more. All right. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to go ahead and copy some merch by clicking the link in the description below to make sure to go ahead and support us on that end as well, if you so choose, if it's in your heart to do so. Or at the very least, just go ahead and share this video and give it a thumbs up, because that helps us a lot with getting more exposure for our content, and it allows us to help more people. And if you're listening to this on Anchor or any other podcasting platform, go ahead and share this audio with other people that you know. Make sure to go ahead and favor/subscribe to this podcast. We highly, highly appreciate you for supporting our channel, leaving your feedback, and, you know, just watching as many videos as you can. And as always, peace in and out with the highest vibes, and I'll catch you guys next time.